How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today, yeah, I've finally completed the Incommunicado Sunken map and all that, so I've unlocked these three. Deluge, Sojourn, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Sandswept. I was umming and ahhing which one to start. In the end, I decided I'd go for the middle, Sojourn. So it says, as a result of mistakes made during gas extraction, a large section of natural gas caverns below the region have explosively collapsed, resulting in the formation of massive sinkholes across the land. And you have to assess the risk of repeat gas detonations by scouting around. So it lets me choose a scout at first. In the end, it's between the Don 72 Malamute thing and the Invictus. Basically, it just says in stats that the mobility is better on the Malamute, plus it's got nice big chunky wheels that kind of stick out from the vehicle. That can catch you out here and there, but overall, I think it's a decent vehicle to go exploring with because it's quite good at climbing over. Like, you come across the average rock or a bit of a wall, it's normally pretty good at climbing over. So yeah, Operation Sojourn, North Africa, summer. One nice reason, and the reason I wanted to pick this map, I heard that there was nice blue clear skies and no rain going on. Yeah, mistakes during gas extraction operations led to explosive collapses in the area. Your company was dispatched to restore the production and assist with logistics. And I think Kelly's going to pop up. I may as well just let her explain a bit of what's going on, even though she does yap on a little bit, but...
Or, in this case, natural gas are to blame those folks. All this money just waiting to be made. Too bad that when all the gas is gone, you get an empty cave that collapses. Who would have thought? Well, they didn't. You can set your first base up in the nearest...
So I've basically just got to go and drive only just down the road. You can see 322 metres away to set up my first base. It's funny she was saying there about once you like extract everything out of the ground, there's just a big space. I used to know a guy that worked for certain companies that dug underground bases and stuff, and he was, to be honest, an alcoholic off his head half the time, but every now and then he made a bit of sense, and he was saying it's pretty crazy what they've got down there, like a hell of a lot more than you believe. There's like giant underground cities that he's helped dig out and all sorts. And again, some of his words are questionable, but that was pretty legit. He'd been working there years. Other people, like, yeah, he does do that kind of thing. I panned around the map a little bit. Obviously, it's all covered in clouds at the minute. It'll just give you a rough idea of the size. That's what she said. You start over, say, at 9 o'clock versus, like, the map if you're looking north and all the rest of it. You're starting over on the left-hand side, kind of middle of it, really. Yeah, drive here, pretty simple. Objective complete. Main thing I was keeping an eye on is I'm at level 11, but I'm climbing, and I want to get to level 12. So, yeah, Kelly pops up with some missions. You can see popping up at like a green exclamation mark, new main objective and all that. Set up a convoy path. Check out the emergency report for the orange farm. Sure if that's because she's ginger. I'm going to gaslight Kelly into sleeping in the loaf. That's my plan. And then you've got to bring damaged fuel tank. You can see in the background there's two red tanks that it's I need to replace. Well, first one I did quickly. The first mission was just draw a line, like to set up, you know, bring in materials and stuff. It's an incredibly simple line. When this semi-truck came out there, I kind of got a bit Mad Max vibes, like thinking it'd be pretty cool if you like escorting a big fat armoured tanker thing going on. That's what we need. Forget Roadcraft. Turn it into some kind of Mad Max thing. And for God's sake, focus. Add a goddamn T-Rex. And imagine how fun it'd be now if you're just driving along and a T-Rex ran out at you. But anyway, we get here. Yeah, piece of piss. Kind of show you on the map. It's the same route I drove, should I say, sorry, in this thing. I edit most of this out, but I then went for a little drive. This is down the south of the island, and it said unlocked new side objective, explore like historical points of interest. I just wanted to show you, since I picked this vehicle and it's got big fat tyres, I jumped down there, fair enough, bit of a lazy attempt to reverse, but now I fully reversed, fully turned my wheels. This Malamute, kind of the cost of having big fat spongy chunky wheels is that on situations like this it's not too precise. Overall, it's not the end of the world, it's just this little set of steps. Everything else was pretty good. But just throwing it out there, if that's not your cup of tea, then you might want a, I don't know, the Land Rover or the Hummer or whatever. So the missions I unlocked, that historical thing, was those three big markers you can see. I drove around, yeah, that's where I got the historical mission. That's basically the bottom left of the map. I drove up here, over there, I've got a farm it wants me to explore, and then yeah, like I say, those wants me to pick those 2 tanks up and deliver them to the gas station. And then yeah, there's that farm as well. It just wants me to visit the nearby farm, so you just got to reach the location for now. There's a little fence blocking your way. I'll sort of explain. I was going to cut a lot of this out because the mule is a little bit on the slow side, although it wasn't too ruthless. But it's even driving along, like I just rub against this tree. That's enough to stop me dead. It's like, oh my god, mule. And then look, changing gears now, like, yes. Are we in first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear? Just keeps changing gears and barely changes speed. But anyway, yeah, this is one of the bridges. It's already built, I didn't put this in there. The water looks pretty damn nice. Yeah, a much more bright, vibrant map. If nothing else, I can't suggest if it's worth going to Deluge first or Sandswept over this, but I drove, I don't know, a couple of hours tonight, and I don't think I've had a cloud, let alone rain pissing down. So if, yeah, the rain's pissing you off, then this is a good alternative map. So, sorry, as I was yapping, there was a road back there that I should have turned left on, because as you can see, that gate is closed. I already knew this from exploring with the Malamute, I just wasn't even paying enough attention myself. Got to this point, obviously this is out, but there's a little gap here that I was thinking like, maybe. We'll try a look. I think I sort of clipped the wheel on the edge of the wall, started slipping over. No winches. When I was here with the Malamute, I was able to fire a winch out to one of them trees, but obviously this hasn't got the option. You got the crane. Again, left this in though, because as usual, there's like, if you can figure out ways to help yourself, there was some cement and, you know, like items nearby, so I lifted one of them up to help tilt me, was firing my crane legs in and out, pulled that piece of cement from under my truck because it was kind of beached on that a little bit. And yeah, it's not over till it's over. Keep trying to struggle through it and wiggle around. I just need to get over there, like in front of me. You can see just at the top of the screen, like silver marker of the circle, which is the location it wants me to visit. Yeah, use that thing to, again, like just shifting it around with the crane to adjust my weight to get more weight on whichever particular wheel has got kind of more grip at the time. But yeah, again, I do kind of like how, as long as you keep trying and wiggling, you're 90% stuck in the mud, but it is still slowly crawling forward. There is still a little bit of hope of actually making it out there. So yeah, don't recommend that way. I'll show you in a sec with the camera, but when you're halfway there, turn left on the road. So yeah, basically there. Come through there and that way. But the gate that was locked will open soon. There's a mission. Once I visit this farm, it unlocks like the next stages. One is building a road, and the other one is collecting a generator and delivering it to near where that gate is, the closed gate. And then that will open it. It's too late, Kelly. You made the joke. Again, I went for a little drive around it north on the island. Just there was a main power substation, a concrete slab factory. There's a giant hole in the ground there, but the cloud's kind of covering it up at the minute. And yeah, build a road. Oh, I think first actually, I go and do the grab 2 tanks and take them back to the fuel station. Again, I was going to cut a little bit more of this footage out. I think the video is about 29 minutes. I was going to try and get it down to about 25, but since it's first look at the map, I kind of figured I may as well leave various clips in, give you a chance to kind of look around and see what's going on. Yeah, this is about as dark and dim as it ever got when it's kind of like late in the evening, and it, yeah, sort of looks like sunset almost, but it soon got bright again, and yeah, just stays sunny all the time, which is pretty cool. You start saying like if I'm worried about ownership, like I don't care if I was stealing these tanks from an orphanage. When I'm on a game, it's going to propel my career. I'm doing it. My guilty conscience was fine. Start playing Dre songs. Yeah, got them loaded up. I used, like, obviously put it on the roof. Good old snow runner trick. Used to store plenty of stuff on the roof. Use the crane to kind of pinch it down against the roof, because then it shouldn't really wiggle anywhere. Strap it down. It's a crime there's not roof straps. And then yeah, basically, because I'm now on the other side of that closed gate, go around that way, down here, connect back to the main road, and that's kind of, there's the bridge. And yeah, back to the gas station. I end up cutting most of this out because as much as I don't mind leaving the footage in, yeah, I think I even celebrated my 40th birthday at some point waiting for this thing to pick up speed to get back to the garage. Took well over 3 minutes just to drive back to here, which is, yeah, really not far at all. Once the tank's in here, a little bit of an awkward squeeze, and then when I put my anchors out, it starts pushing me over. I've not really had much issues with it doing this before, but it's the, I don't know, the right anchor, I suppose, pushing against the wall that's tipping me over. Maybe the weight of that tank on my head wasn't helping, but that's not on there anymore. And yeah, it was like, for God's sake, man. Mule just took 8 years to get back here. Now it tries to tip itself as soon as it is here. Yeah, I was kind of a little bit too close to the wall and that anchor was just messing me around, so I moved it out of the way, nearly forgot to redeploy them. But yeah, get these out of the way, throw them in the neighbour's garden, and then it's not my problem. I bring up the council like, yeah, you want to have a look at this guy, he's storing a lot of scrap metal in his garden. Yeah, like, hello, Trump? Yeah, I think my neighbour's making enriched uranium facilities. I'm going to check it out. But yeah, one done. Not my problem. Second one, give it a good old poke with the crane. And then yeah, I've got to flick through every crane winch point thing before it lets me get the tank that I want. Drop that one in. Drop that one in. And then thankfully, I was like, oh yes. Level 12. The reason I was desperate for level 12 was because I unlocked the I can't remember, sand scraper. It's like the Zik 605E, but like the, how do I say it, mobile scalper. Yeah, 62 grand, looks pretty big, that's what she said of course. 140 metre radius, quarry radius. Yeah, this is the sort of things I've been hoarding my money for. I mean, I did spend quite a bit yesterday, but I'm now down to 80 grand, so it's sort of like, I don't know, almost simultaneously, like, good job I've not unlocked several other vehicles because I won't have the money for it. Yeah, here's a quick look and kind of messing around with it. I also unlocked some fuel for completing that mission, and that'll become, like, slightly important in a sec, you'll see. It didn't ask me to specifically do it yet, but obviously because I've got this, I was checking the, like, sand quarry radius things going on. This is grey at the minute, which means it's inactive, and so's this big sand quarry, but when you go to the middle, activate quarry, hold triangle down for me on the PS4 remote, and it spends 5 fuel, but it now activates that quarry. I've still got 6 fuel left. You preferably want to save some, because, well, the road I've got to build for one, I'm obviously going to need to spend 4 fuel to recover that. So it says, unable to activate, place it on, like, sandy ground to activate it. So I started driving it basically back to where you first start this map. It was just up the road from the garage, and I kind of saw what I hoped was a sandy place. Funny enough, this thing travels quicker than the mule when it's an entire gigantic mobile quarry. Yeah, so I got here, it lets me activate it, starts folding it all out and everything. Get little conveyor belts folding out and all the rest of it, and then it starts, like, sort of makes the belts for the conveyors appear. Starts flicking sand out. And now you can see it's yellow. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure, because I can see now it's touching the big quarry that I just activated. I don't know off the top of my head, if someone could please let me know in the comments, if it'll activate even if I was outside of that radius. But the general principle seems there. Drive to a sandy section, rather than just like parking it on a road. Obviously, I don't know how that's going to play out on, say, like Incommunicado, because, yeah, hopefully it counts like mud. But yeah, you can see when I drove back on the road there, it said no. And then yeah, we had to do a ramming test, of course. Got to know what ramming speed is like. Hit the mule. In its defence, I mean, once it tipped the mule, I kind of expected that because of the amount of weight flying at it. But to its credit, it did actually put in a pretty fair effort of trying to climb up the mule. Obviously, once I sort of got beached between the 2 middle axles, it was not having any of it. I mean, get yourself a loaf. It's goddamn professional. Look at him. Is there anything the loaf cannot do? Pushed it like it was nothing. Switched back to this, tried to drive forward, kind of still pretty beached as far as things go. Alright. Attempt number 2, give it a bit more of a nudge, and at this point it kind of rolled the mule. I keep nearly calling it a dolphin. Back to upright, and the sand quarry is kind of sat. Technically, I would consider that packed. Sadly, game doesn't agree. The suspension is slightly bottomed out, cannot secure cargo. What an outrage. Should put gigantic, massive straps over everything and let me drive off. However, and again, ironically, the bloody mule drives quicker with a fat, gigantic sand quarry on its back than it does with fuel tanks and all the rest of it. Was a little bit sketchy driving. The Zix is kind of dragging along the floor a little bit. Its steering does kind of follow you. As I went to reverse, it was sort of pushing, thinking of making me tip and do a wheelie, but I think there's just too much weight for me to easily tip. It sort of spins the Zix back round, reverse it into a petrol station. As you do, imagine filling the insurance form out for that one. Like, you did what? Reversed a mobile sand quarry on the back of a mule into a fuel station. Give the Malamute a little nudge. And I was going to give the loaf a nudge. I am actually turning hard left right now. You can see my wheels, but there's like some kind of loaf force field forcing me to swerve over. But yeah, goddamn professional. Sand quarry secured, which is pretty nice. So this is the road, and that's where it wants the generator that'll unlock the gate. You can kind of see the road leading up to it. The generator it wants is over here, which is kind of marooned on its own little island. There's you can drive up there, but there's a gap. I'm assuming like you could take a large crane and reach over. I think that would work. But I was sending in the goddamn professional. I'm going to build the road first anyway. When I got these, I just quickly flicked through to make sure they're all like the silver ones. It seems to be, if it looks silver on your list, it's the new one you've bought. If it looks like a rusty, faded yellow, it's the old one. So the dozer, paver, and roller are all new. The bowheads, obviously, I don't have a rusty version of that. Yeah, pretty standard issue. Click on them, access the road building request thing. Press square on the road to send them going. And for the most part, at first, we were pretty good, but because the paver started messing around for me and didn't pave a road the other day, I checked it and I was like, you sneaky little bastard. It actually didn't start paving. Thankfully, you just hit square on them and it cancels them and bumps them back to like that beginning mission square. Just having a quick eyeball, making sure they're making it. Yeah, so essentially just resent the paver, resent the roller. And yeah, probably worth it. Seems to be bugging out. It seems to be getting a little bit more common, the consistency with which it doesn't start laying tarmac like so. But whatever, second attempt it did it. Yeah, it's just worth keeping an eye out, because if I didn't pay attention, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but the paver just would have got to the other side, the roller would have followed it, but not actually completed its part of the mission. And I left this bit in, one for the views. You can see the generator's almost level with me in the background. I wanted to see what it does with this rock. This one, it clipped it and kind of rolled it off the side, so it's like, fair enough, that's all good. There's a broken bridge there. Yeah, you could probably go up to that section and reach over with a big crane. You've also got like, it's not looking good around there because it looks like it's going to go too deep. That's what she said. There's a ramp up here, but there's a big gap there. So my solution, I was thinking, I'm going to send the bowhead and fill in some gaps. And what I noticed now though was as it was driving up, the bloody pavers stopped. I was like, what now? For what it's worth, the roller must automatically go in reverse because it starts paving the road with the front roller, which it counts as the rear roller when it's reversing. Yeah, I was hoping the paver would actually give it a bit of a nudge, but it kind of just keeps waiting and all the rest of it. And I just thought at this point it's like beached on its like paver thing that extends out, but then when it reverses it's like, oh, it's stuck on a bloody rock. So jump in this. At this point I was thinking, please just reverse once more. I'm not even sure if it'll eventually give up and say like road building failed. Thankfully, just at the right time it reversed. Yoink that rock out of the way, just miss it. Celebratory horn, and then yeah, it finishes what it needs to do. The roller decides now's the time to reverse, but that ends up finishing the mission, and that's the road done. So that's like step one of this mission. Step two is getting that. Again, having a little look around, it's my goddamn horse. Yeah, I decided to send in the bowhead. I mean, at this point, to the right, you can see the deep water. I suppose you could keep pouring water in there, and pouring sand in there until it fills the gap. I'm a bit disappointed with myself at this point. You'll see why. I started reversing, and you see this pipe. Just so happened, I didn't really realise, like, as I was reversing, I reckon, you know how people, like, walk on logs? I reckon I could sort of reverse on that, and as it rolls the pipe, I'd make it to the other side. But I sort of messed it up, hesitated for a second, floored it the wrong way, and it moved the pipe. So I started pouring sand, which obviously I'm pretty certain these are going to be materials we're going to have to use later, because it's not burying them or whatever, it's purposely like pushing them above the sand. But yeah, did a couple of dumper loads just to roughly fill this gap so I can get over to the next island so I can reach the generator thing. See how you get beached quite easily? That's just like the little back tip of the bowhead thing that was stuck on the sand. So yeah, send in the goddamn horse. Should have gone a little bit more to the right just to stay on the peak of the sand. However, you can see I sort of didn't quite pile it high enough. However, the loaf swung his ass round. And then, so if I can get it right, just get the lip of the loaf above that tarmac edge, which it did. Give the loaf a little wiggle. It's goddamn professional. Yeah, that box with LTEC written on it. Thankfully, from here, the winch does reach. Obviously, it's going to fall into that gap. Start pulling the winch. I suppose it's pulling fairly consistently, to be fair. It's a little bit on the slow side. I need some kind of power winch. Yeah, got stuck. Switched the winch point, thankfully, to that top corner, so I thought I'd have a bit more leverage on it. At the minute, for several seconds, I didn't realise I'd put my handbrake on while I was flicking through the different menus and all the rest of it, so I'm pulling the winch. I was flooring it in reverse, but obviously the handbrake is on. But I was more keeping an eye on that, so I wasn't really paying attention to the bottom corner, but when I realised, turn that off, start reversing as well as trying to pull in the winch. Yeah, you can see the whole place is pretty fucked up from gas explosions, apparently, this time. It's always something, either an earthquake or a hurricane. Or, yeah, people blowing gas underground storage facilities up. Yeah, it's funny, it just reminded me, because like I say, my mate who worked digging like giant underground things, he was saying for years, he used to sit there and he's like, what do you think happens if you suck all the juice out of an orange? It'll collapse in on itself. And obviously this is kind of hinting that they sucked all the juice out, sucked all the gas out, and there's just empty caverns left behind, and then it collapses. Well, Kelly said that, but then it also says like gas explosions, which would imply gas was there, not a lack of. Anyway, hoisted this thing over there, just drove, kind of kept it winched to the front of the loaf. She says about the river lock. We'll get to that in a sec, but I unlocked like the mission. I've got to go and explore the concrete slabs facility, 3 locations. I also realised, I don't know what made me go back in the garage, but I was like, oh shit, I can buy this as well, which is pretty cool. You see, now I'm down to 41,000. Thankfully, these were the only 2 vehicles I've unlocked at this point, because yeah, I wouldn't have enough money now to buy them, because I blew all my money on new pavers, rollers, Aramatsu crayfish logger thing when I built the bridge to finish Sunken, got the AI to the port. The crane, pretty cool, this grabber type thing. The only thing I would say that's a bit, you see how like it doesn't straighten the crane, so when you're moving the controls assuming it would straighten the crane, it just slams the crane into the ground. You'll get used to it like pretty soon, I reckon. It's just one of them, like you just naturally think, oh, I'll straighten the crane out. Yeah, it's got little anchors on it. Driver course we need to know for science. It's like found the target. I mean, pushes it pretty damn easily once it flips it. Starts trying to drive up it. It's not the end of the world, but I can see one potential Achilles heel to this vehicle is the rear sideboard thing sticks quite far back over the track, so it's going to beach itself that way, if anything. If you try and climb up a particularly steep angle, it's going to be that's going to beach, and that's probably going to be your main thing that holds this back. But yeah, overall seems pretty cool. Seems very stable considering the tracks themselves like are a smaller profile than the length of the truck and all the rest, so it doesn't seem to wobble around. One nice thing, because it's tracked and it seems to have a lot of torque, unlike the mule, once you've got it going up to speed and all the rest of it, it's going to seem like it's more like the loaf where it just stays at the top speed once it's there. Yeah, picking this Malamute up, I think because I was quite far extended over the back of my truck, it wasn't quite wanting to lift it. The crane also slipped off. It's a little bit, it can pick it up, as you can see here, and I did carry it around and all the rest of it. Sometimes if you swing the Malamute round, or that's the only thing I've really picked up so far, but yeah, I mean, it's got the power to lift it and drive along and all the rest of it, but if you swing it around a bit hard, it'll kind of eventually slip loose, really. It's not got the most amazing grip on the tyre. I think, yeah, there's like, I think now as I'm reversing it. Gotta get them thumbnails. Just quickly picked it back up, but yeah, looking pretty good. Couple of new vehicles. Scalper. I moved them out the way to the garage side, and I drew this AI route, and for whatever reason, those vehicles were not within 10 metres of the start of that AI route, but it was saying I was blocking them, so I had to then reverse all my vehicles kind of out the way. Yeah, it's basically an AI route just past where I've just built that road. So you can see, coming out the base, go along the bridge, wiggle along here. Now I've got that gate open, by the way, because I've put that generator there. Yeah, over me road, and they just go to a building there. Quickly switch to it. It's funny, it's like, the AI is so slow in this game, even the AI has to ram the AI. I mean, in fairness, this... Another, say, nice thing about this map, I mean, this road I've built was pretty smooth, but there's quite a lot of smooth roads, so obviously I'm no doubt it's going to get more difficult as the get further into the map, but yeah, highway trucks actually stand a chance on this game, because for the most part, unless there's been an underground explosion, the roads are actually fairly smooth and forgiving. Plan a route, I think I was saying, yeah, to the Riverlock thing, so that's that, which is like a drawbridge that's lifted up, which I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to do yet, because it does say about exploring the concrete plant and all that first, but Loaf needed to investigate. You see, Loaf doesn't let things like almost vertical bridges stop him, because he's goddamn professional. Well, I mean, eventually, in fairness. I was looking for a winch point. Like, if I could winch to the top of that bridge, I'd be laughing. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Just make sure it wasn't a fluke. See, that is torque. That's what the mule needs, some of that. The mule wouldn't have a hope in hell unless it had the Loaf behind it boosting it. Just in case twice wasn't enough. Have a side angle view. Yeah, I mean, get yourself a Loaf. Like I say, I had to explore the concrete slabs facility. So I've also got to do electric, and you can see there's roads and everything everywhere. So I thought I'll go through this orchard, over the road there, hoping the little gap in the road I could actually get across, because obviously with the cable layer, if you hit like a solid surface, it says like, you know, can't lay a cable through this surface basically. Started sending it in. Yeah, I drew like a little flag where I was going to start, and like I said, my best option, and overall knowing what I know now, I still think it is, that's it, cannot break this surface to lay cable. Yeah, cut through this orchard, because there's a possibility it could cut through the other sections, because they're not as solid road as the map might imply, but then some are. I'll kind of explain in a sec. Again, I cut most of this out. For whatever reason there, I don't know what I hit, but it said I can't break the surface. I just moved a tiny bit over to the left and it was fine, but again, when I got here that I was going to skip over the road, obviously to the right is solid road, but then there's this sand patch between them, so it's a little bit trickier than the cable laying missions we've had so far, but nothing too crazy. While I was eyeballing it up, it was like, well, there doesn't really seem to be any other option, but you can see now they look more roady roads going in here, and it looks like patches of tarmac and all the rest of it, but it was cutting through it, no problem. I think that these little fences should be able to knock them down, but whatever, I had to reverse, go round. Yeah, another objective complete. Power up the construction depot, that was. So, there's the line I drew again, just skipping over the road. The reason why I think it's the best, I've unlocked the construction depot. Maybe you could go out that way, but I wouldn't hold your breath. But yeah, I've not blocked any roads I'm going to use, other than 2 quick lines cutting across. I've not had to chew up like an entire length of road that's going to be a pain in the arse later on. I'm not doing this mission yet, but it wants me to take power there, which looks like it'll be pretty simple by comparison. And then yeah, that's about it. You can see the evolution of a thumbnail. That's how it starts. Thinking like, which one am I going to pick? I think I'll move the camera third person view out at some point, probably that one. Yeah, so pretty cool map so far. Like I say, I got a couple of new vehicles as well, which is looking pretty good. 17% through the map, so say roughly a fifth, and I've done that many missions. Yeah, I didn't cut any missions out. So yeah, that's of unlock. I get another one at level 13. These are the last 3 vehicles that I need to unlock by completing objectives. I believe on this Sojourn map it's going to be that Vostok 53, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Get yourself a loaf, and I'll be back soon.